Good afternoon, friends. So we are going with the next session, the balcony garden tour of Hariram. He is just waiting, and the tips from him. He has painstakingly made one video and shared with us. So my friend Anil will try to share this on the screen so that it is easier. Or Hariram, you can share there. Okay. So Hariram, you are there, no? Hariram? Hariram?
Yes. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
Hariram. So if you want to tell maybe
Yes, sir.
3-4 minutes in the very beginning before we start the screen share.
Okay. Thank you all for joining. Very good afternoon to all. Apologies for starting off this late. So have you here, and thank you so much, Rajendra sir and Anil sir, for adding me to this my balcony adventures, to show my balcony adventures. I used to be uh, mm, a rooftop gardener. I had a terrace garden before, but the circumstances moved me to apartment where now I have a small balcony where I continue to grow the food, and that's been the promise to Mr. Sir as well, and I'll continue to do it to touch more people and encourage them to grow food. So I started doing my garden at a very young age, but because of the work and education, gave a long pause until my young son wanted to know how things grow. So that's how my started. So I started very small pots, that I can say, 3 to 4. I don't recommend the same thing for everyone. Start small and then go for big, and grow what is required for your family. I think there are a lot a balcony will teach you, and at the same time a lot of possibilities and the creativity that is pulled out of you. When you're doing balcony garden in a restricted space. Okay, my adventure with balcony so far tells me that everything is possible. As long as you get around 3.5 hours of sunlight, I think everything is possible to grow. May not be at the scale of a farm or a terrace that you will be able to produce, but definitely there are certain things you can avoid buying from outside if you plan it well. And given that it is limited space, and I'm sure planning is extremely easy, and you can time it beautifully in balcony garden, where I had a challenge, in fact, in terrace garden to time it because I had things were going abundance, so I was too lazy to plan as well. So, but balcony garden gives you immense my story so far with my balcony. Never disappointed with my balcony, and it's always a thriving balcony. And not only giving us the food, and also recently from last 6 months, it is also attracting few birds to feed on to the random millets that were growing in my balcony. So, and I think I continue to do it because I think sitting with my laptop. So, but definitely I'll try to share some how the ecosystem gets built when to start growing. Maybe through the YouTube channel sometime later. So thank you,
Hari,
sir.
Hari, sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt you, but we're having some difficulties with your audio as well as the video. We're getting a bit pixelated.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
just I don't know.
You could
Check
maybe
my.
move to a connection spot that's closer to your Wi-Fi or something. It might help.
Okay.
So can we share now?
Okay. So can you? Yeah, you can share, sir. In the meantime, I'll set right my this
Yes.
one.
Yes.
not getting the internet correctly there.
What?
So Hariram, this video is a mute video, or there is sound in the background?
Okay. Awesome.
Meenakshi, you want to give the audio? This video is a mute video, or there is sound in the background?
ಒಳ್ಳೆಕ್ಕಿಳು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಾನೆ ಶೇಖರ್.
Meenakshi, you want to give the audio?
So, can you hear me? I think there's some connectivity lag.
in different ways. So this is something that is there. And every time the branches become stronger, so I thin them like this. Okay, so you can see another one here. And then the shoots start coming from sides again. Okay, so that's my drumstick plant to start with. And then it's actually really dense. So just give me a. All right. The one plant that I grow is the basil. It's called Malabar spinach, and you can see how it has grown all the way to here. Okay, and there is a plant, the same plant starting from this end. So they meet up somewhere in midway. So I constantly get the Malabar spinach leaves. Almost this is almost a 5 months old plant. So you can assume it will run for another 4 or 5 months before I decide to change the plant again. Okay. So in this pot, to start with, so you can see let me complete the Malabar spinach pot. So you see the pot down here, this is where it starts. You can see how densely they're growing, you know, they're close to each other and still they're able to manage to grow. I will tell you how you can make sure they flourish despite being next to each other. You know, it's all in the nutrients. So alongside the Malabar spinach, I also have the mango ginger. So this is a mango ginger plant. Not doing very well, but yes, I may get a little harvest in the next 3 to 4 months. Okay. So the idea is to grow as much as possible within the same pot. You know, that's going to be the key for a balcony gardening. So you can see this pot here, what I have. So this pot has 3 variety of things growing. Okay, of course, this is the lemongrass I just started, so I have to do some replanting. So you can see the one which is densely grown here. So this is the gongura, we call it. Okay, and that is one plant growing, and this can grow taller. So that's why I chose one plant which will grow taller, and one plant that can stay probably half feet at the ground. So that's why I chose spring onions. So I planted spring onions and gongura together, and while gongura started taking over, I also planted a cowpea creeper. You can see this here. So there is one here. It has gone all the way. You can see some cowpea started coming. You can see this here. This is one. You can see here. Another batch of it, and then another batch here. You can see them here. So they started coming. So, and along with that, so these are it hosts three plants basically, 3 variety of plants: are gongura, spring onion, and you have cowpea plant. Okay, so then I also have some chili started. You can see the spacing of that. Okay, so this is the spacing. You can see them. Okay, so there are, I think, 6 plants, and these are grown from the red chilies that are purchased from the market. Okay, and whatever seeds were there, I just threw it there in the edges, and when they all started growing, I thinned them to only 6. And this also just started flowering, and that's my first chili flower. And there is one more here. You can see one more here. Okay. Notice the sunlight. I think you see the sunlight here. So I think it starts from 8 onwards for me. Okay. So I will talk about it a little later. Okay. So I'm using this foliage here of the chili. Okay, just to ensure that my saplings do well. I'm growing brinjal saplings here. You can see it's all brinjal, and this is that kasi sopu they call it, and also called as mantakkali in Tamil. Okay, and this is also, you can keep growing it. Once you plant it in a pot and just trim it, and it'll keep growing. It'll last for very long, and also has some very good medicinal benefits of eating this. So since I just started with this, and this is the pot it is going to take. And when it takes over this pot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn this pot the other way. So the chili plants will come behind, and this will go that side, so that they get sufficient sunlight and start growing better. Okay. And And here I have some amaranthus growing in small pots. I think that's sufficient for us once it grows. I think it's another 15 days they'll be ready for the harvest. I think one dish can be made out of it. Okay. My new batch of coriander has just started. Of course, some struggle is going on, but yes, the new shoots are coming up. Now this is just 10 days old, probably 10, 12 days old. So this will take over completely, before I finish my first batch of coriander, which I'm growing in the other pot. Okay. And then I have here my pudina growing. You see the pudina growing. Okay, I started this with probably five six of the pudina things. Okay, the way that I'm replicating this is because if you know, everybody knows about pudina. You push them in the soil, again it starts developing the roots. So the technique that I used is I'll just show you. You can see the pin here. Okay, I think it is not visible. So I pin them like this. You see that pin there? The paper clips, you cut them, and then as they start growing taller, you push them back into the soil. So you can see this is the original one. So it will start developing the roots there. Okay. So that's how you can see them, how they're spreading. Okay. So that's how I've been replicating them. You just need some 2-3 good pudina plants to keep going. And so you can see the new shoots started coming here for the one which I pushed in the soil. So idea is to get a pot full of it and then start trimming and eating. So that's the whole thing. So in this also I have the Malabar spinach, you can call it. I just trimmed it off last week because I wanted the new shoots to start coming. So you can see the plant ends here. That's all it is. Okay. And of course there is this random millet that is growing because I just wanted to see how it grows. You can see on the top there's something growing there. It attracts some birds. Okay. And then coming to this, you can see this is my celery plant. I've been eating it almost from last 4 or 5 months. So you can see I just chop it off here and then it starts coming with the new leaves again. Okay. I just started growing in this. I started growing. There are again multiple varieties growing. You can see this is my celery. I just started with some chili plant that is there. That's just 2 chili plants, and I think this is cluster bean. Okay, this is cluster bean, and this is nool cole. I think this is the season, and you can see I have planted a few. I think hopefully they will pick up, or at least I get 4, 5 of them in full. But never fail with this if you give little care. And this is my, you can see my coriander. I think it's going to flower soon. And I don't think it will last that long because we're going to finish it off. It was full of this pot. There are only few left now. That is why I started the other batch of coriander. So that's how you should time it when you have a small balcony. And then I have again some more celery here. Okay, and some millets growing. You can see these millets here. This attracts a lot of birds for me here, and that's why I have a small bird feeder here. But unfortunately, they're not very attracted to the bird feed, but they try to eat the fresh ones. You can see all these are growing. Okay, and also I have some more millets growing here. You can see this here. So all these are millets that are growing. These are different varieties of millets that are growing. I think foxtail and a lot of stuff. Okay, and this is not for my consumption. Basically, it is for 2 pairs of birds that visit my balcony in the afternoons, post-afternoon, just to encourage them to bring in. Yeah, and I also have some more pudina greens here along with spring onions. But this time these onions have gone to flower. You can see how beautiful they look. Now, so you can consume them. I'm planning to do that soon. No rush for going for season, etc. So you can see how healthy these flower fruits are. And then I have my new batch of palak growing because my I didn't time it properly, the last one, so hence I have to wait. Otherwise, while I'm eating one batch of palak, the second batch always reaches this stage. You can see them. This is around, you can say 20 days old palak. In another 10 days, if I leave it, or maybe another 10, 15 days, and then I can start eating from onion and then take another pot and start uh, growing palak in that. Okay. So you can see that's the spot and the kind of sunlight it gets. Okay. I think this gets hardly around 2.5 hours sunlight because of what I placed on top. Okay, so it gets only around 2.5 hours sun. And what I do is, because this part of the palak doesn't get sunlight as much as this side of the palak gets it. So every week, this week I have already turned it. Every week this side goes to the other side and other side, and that part will come this side, so that they get the equal sunlight there. Okay. And I use the spots, some spots like this. You can see that there's not much sunlight, and there are some tomato saplings growing, and these require slightly lesser sunlight. So hence I kept them behind a foliage. You can see them, so they get a sunlight, but not very intense. Okay. The same technique I use. You can see that the chili sapling that is growing here. So basically, it's behind your celery plant. Okay, you can see that barely any sunlight it gets it. Once the seedlings grow to a larger size, and what I do is I use the spots like this, which are the small sunny spots, but cannot accommodate big pots. But I shift them to the places where they can get the back sunlight. You can see some drumstick plants growing and some exotic tomato plants that I'm trying to grow. So I think I'm planning to grow tomatoes in the coming days, and hence you'll see a lot of tomatoes in my garden. And of course, brinjals is the second one I'm planning to grow it. Okay. And when you start the saplings, or rather sowing, for some of the things, what I do is I use this technique here. So I have a stand here where this stand is used to place my pots, just sow my seeds and wait for them to germinate. As they start germinating, I shift them to less spots to start with, and they move to the bigger areas. And then when they're ready to transplant, they take over one of these pots where they start growing. Okay, so that's how it looks. So on the top, I was growing already some plants which have moved to the sunny spot now. So I have to start with the next batch. So the constant sowing will help you to keep your garden lush green, and something always growing. More important. Okay. And to sustain, the best in your garden, and secondly, since you're growing in bends, the way it's going to be how you're going to give the nutrients to your plants. So the fundamental mantra that I follow is I have my home composting. You can see here. This is my old bin, which is a 3-layered one. Okay. And I also have another bin, this is 4-layered one. Okay. So this is active bin right now. Okay. So I'll probably show you this. First, let me show you in this bin what is happening. This is almost 45 days old compost. Okay. You can see. Initially, I started using some cocoa peat and kitchen waste. All my kitchen waste was in here. Initially, I started using some cocoa peat to start. Now, I use this compost itself to cover when I make the next batch. Okay, so or the active bin. Okay. This is one layer, and this layer also is full. So hopefully, to show you. see this one. So this is also done. So it's very rich compost it has become. And this is what gets supplied to my plants all through the. So nothing goes into the dump charts from my kitchen. So everything compost here, and then makes my garden look like this. Okay, so I don't buy anything additionally outside ever since I started growing in the balcony, because terrace was a different ballgame. I was able to do it, but now for balcony, whatever feature that comes out itself, is enough. As once it becomes the compost. This is my second active bin. As you see that it started. And this is the ongoing thing. Okay, so show you the gimbal this way. You can see this here. So the one which is on the top is the active one, and you can see this one here. This is getting composted now. All right, so you are seeing some will attract some maggots there, but don't worry about it. So they help you in doing composting faster, and they don't crawl the way they just show you. So don't bother about them. I think more the better. So that's how it's been designed. I think there's no rocket science, but there's a planning that is there. So there's always something growing, and there's always enough for my family to eat on something that's coming from the garden. Okay, so thank you so much, and keep growing. I think it's easy, don't complain about the space. It's easy to grow. You can grow lots of stuff within the small space. My balcony size is 3.5 feet by around 4 feet, I can say, by 1.5 feet. Okay, so that's my garden size. So, thank you for watching. And keep growing.
At the end, Hariram, you want to tell something?
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know. I think even Sanjeev also mentioned the same thing. We should never complain about the space we have around us. I think everything is possible. Just need to know how exactly you need to plan. The smaller the space, the easier to grow and manage. So I want all the people who are with balconies not to get disappointed with the space that others show on the terrace. You can see the varieties that I am growing. I think you can compete equally, rather than more than competing. You can grow food equally as much as that you can grow in the terrace. May not be 15 varieties, but I'm sure those 5-6 varieties that you can always bring it to your table very easily, and avoid them buying from the market. Especially all greens can be grown in your balconies, provided if you're getting some limited sunlight there. Okay, so I wish all the people a very best of luck, and I wanted all of them to put their hands in the mud and dirty it, and see how beautiful it is when you get something on your plate, when you serve it for your family, what is grown in your balcony. So
So
thank you,
Hariram,
sir.
Meenakshi is with some questions which are put on the chat box of YouTube.
Hi,
Okay.
Hari. So there are a couple of questions. One is on coriander. Do you source the seeds from a garden store, or is it from the kitchen, or from just a regular shop, supermarket?
Yeah, you can do it from the kitchen, but sometimes kitchen seeds, especially coriander seeds, will disappoint you because coriander seed, when it is whether it is young or matured, it will smell the same. So depending on the season and the rain and etc., so the farmer might decide to harvest it when it is immature itself and might dry it and powder it or sell it as it is. So it's very difficult to judge the store bought ones, basically for home consumption, whatever you get it. But the bigger the seed, I think the better we can say that it is matured, and we can use the corianders from the kitchen as well. But I recommend use the kitchen one, but don't get disappointed. You have to start all over again. So otherwise you can buy the store bought and start. There are a lot of organic sources available nowadays where you can buy it and just start it. You don't need many. Just a handful of coriander is required to grow maybe a big bunch of coriander. Yeah.
So there's one more question. I think it's about to get good growth of palak. They're asking what pesticide, but they should mean actually what kind of nutrition you need for the good growth of palak.
Like I said, my primary thing is my guru is there in this call, Vani Murthy. So what I picked up from her is what I'm just telling everybody. So you don't need to additionally source anything give nutrition to your plants. Just do house composting. Otherwise, just have a well matured cow dung, a bag full of it, which will cost probably 150 rupees and maybe less in some places. Okay, and you can store it well. And for a size of my balcony, the bag that I purchased 2 years back, I'm still not able to finish. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that you can do it. But there are a lot of methods, I think, the home methods that are available. Okay. So you can just look at the home methods for bringing or making the nutrition, plant nutrition, liquid nutrition for the plants and etc. There are many methods available. Just follow those and see, because I do follow Chauhan Q method. You can search in YouTube to understand. It's a Korean method. Use your rice water and jaggery to make the miracle in your garden. So that I do it once in 15-20 days. So you can search in YouTube. So you get a lot of inputs on that.
Great. Hari, one last question. What is the size of your balcony?
I have mentioned that. I think probably people did not hear. I think mine is around, you can say, 3.7 by 9.5. That's the size of it. And I have two layers, one in the bottom layer and then the first layer that I have. Okay, that's an advantage and disadvantage as well, because you don't get the sunlight fully because the top layer blocks the sun. So, but I plan it accordingly so that everything is filled with something growing.
Right, right. Oh, great. So I think that was a fantastic tour that shows people what they can do with the smallest of spaces with just a little bit of planning. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you,
We'll
man.
probably put up the video itself separately. There was some lag, so apologies to people who are logged in. We will post it again separately as a separate video on the same channel. Then you should be able to see it. Okay.
Thank you, Meenakshi. So
That's
thank you.
great.
Yes.
Thank you, Hegde sir.
Thank you, Hariram. Thank you, Meenakshi. Lots of takeaways, but we have improved compared to the previous Oota from your Thota, which has gone for 7.5 hours. So we wanted to finish up in 2.5 hours, but we could finish in 3 hours time. Lots of learning for the trustees of Garden City Farmers to make it better. We will learn from all these issues and make it the good session from next Sunday onwards. We'll plan and come back. Thank you so much for all the listeners, all the viewers on directly on the Zoom link as well as on the YouTube. We're trying to promote the cause of organic urban foodscapes that Dr. Vishwanath promoted from last 25 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.